Previously, Tabby and Heidi fell in love, but then broke up. Then Heidi hit on Saffron, Tabby's best friend, to make her jealous, but then she really fell in love with Saffron. But inexplicably later told her that they better just be friends. And that's what happened in the other seasons. Let's go with the new season. The story starts in high school. Now Heidi and Saffron are friends. Friends in quotes. They go around teasing each other, half hating each other and half flirting in the hallways. On the other hand, we have this girl Ingrid. She tried to kill herself, so she's been away from everything while she recovers physically and emotionally. But she's ready to go back to high school. Unfortunately, she gets off to a terrible start with some girls bullying her as soon as she gets back. All bad. But hey, at least she has her friend Bryden to help her out. Anyway, there are more interesting things than her return to school. Like this new girl who takes her shirt off in the hallway to challenge her teacher.
I like her.
More later that. Day at recess, Heidi was looking pictures of Saffron. Nice, because it was Heidi herself who sent her to the friend zone. In a short time, she is kissing with her friend Astrid. This redhead is a flirtatious woman. And back to Ingrid, she keeps getting picked on by everyone. Only Brayden and Celeste, the new girl, defend her. Meanwhile, Heidi keeps bothering Saffron and flirting with Astrid. But she just wants to make Saffron jealous. She even invites Astrid to a party that night, a party that Saffron will also be at. Classic. And speaking of Saffron, she's acting weird with her best friend Tabby because, well, Tabby is still in love with Heidi, but still Saffron hook up with her. And that attacks all the best friend laws, so she feels guilty. And that Tabby doesn't know anything. She has no idea that her best friend and her ex-girlfriend were running around making out. Later that day, they were all at the pool party, with Celeste being all nice and soft with Ingrid, and with Saffron watching Heidi flirting with Astrid with jealousy. But at least she's not the only one. Heidi also gets jealous of a guy who gets to flirt with Saffron, so for now, it's a draw. And in the middle of all that, Astrid realizes that Heidi is just using her to make Saffron jealous, so she leaves in tears. After the party, Saffron was depressed, and this girl named Ruby comes to comfort her because she likes Saffron. But don't be fooled by her pretty face. Ruby is the one who goes around bullying Ingrid since she came back. Anyway, Saffron is consoled by Ruby and stays drinking with her. And Heidi was also going around all depressed, but nobody consoles her because she's bad. And back to Ingrid, she is talking on the cell phone with Danny, her lover. Oh, bad luck for the new girl. The next morning, Saffron wakes up without clothes in her bed with Ruby, who very romantically has brought her breakfast in bed. And as Saffron lay there panicking, Ruby tries to give her a kiss. Later that day in class, Ruby goes everywhere looking for Saffron, but only meets Heidi. After class, Saffron was sleeping off her hangover when Heidi arrived to bother her, and to try to get her drunk again. Meanwhile, Ingrid is getting cuddly with Danny, with whom things seem to be going well. And back with Saffron, while Heidi is annoying her and she tries to send Ruby to the friend zone. She is cleaning up the mess of the pool party. And well, between a little joke here and a beer there, she almost kisses Heidi but ends up throwing up. Terrible. The plan to drink away the hangover didn't go well. On the other hand, Ingrid and Danny go to a bar together, and there Ingrid hooks up with another girl. So they go around making out, but they're not together. Maybe there's hope for the new girl, or maybe not, because Danny got really jealous to see Ingrid with another girl. But Ingrid sends her to hell because Danny told her that it's better for them to be friends, so now she can't claim any rights. And back with Saffron, after the attempted kiss, Heidi became very nice. She even brought her food, and in the end, they did kiss. The next day, Heidi and Saffron are making out in the halls when Ruby sees them. She leaves with her wicked little heart broken. Meanwhile, Celeste is still hanging out with Ingrid, and along comes Bryden, who likes Celeste and wants some advice on how to win her over. Oh, poor guy. But well, moving on to romances that are going well, Heidi and Saffron go through life as if on honeymoon. Everything gets a little tense when Ruby arrives and interrupts their date. Saffron sends her packing, telling her that she's with Heidi now, that the weekend meant nothing to her. But Ruby doesn't understand that no means no. She tells her that the weekend was special, and she threatens to tell Heidi and stays there to screw up their date. Anyway, Saffron is not a dumb. She invites to their friends, and it turns into an evening of friends and not a weird three-way date. Well played, Saffron. Well played. On the other hand, in a surprising turn of events, after sending him to the friend zone earlier in the day, Celeste kisses Bryden, while Ingrid watches them from afar. And later that night, Taby goes to visit Saffron because she found out about the friends' evening. Taby gets really mad at Saffron for daring to be friends with her ex. How is she going to be when she finds out she dared to fall in love with her? Taby doesn't find out anything for now because her parents moved her to a different high school to keep her away from the redhead bad influence. So for now, all the bad influence of the badass redhead is on Saffron. And Danny and Ingrid are still hooking up, but as friends. If Danny has even gone on dates out there with other girls. But she gets angry if she sees Ingrid with someone. She's a hypocrite, and Ingrid lets her. And returning with the couple on honeymoon, everything was going great, but Saffron gets naughty and wives Heidi to bed. And she goes crazy, I don't know, maybe she was traumatized the time she went to jail. So Heidi storms out of there. But then she comes to her senses and comes back. The girls apologize, make up, and the honeymoon continues. And finally, Ingrid has some guts. She was staying at Danny's house with her, but decides to return home. She doesn't even let herself be convinced with an I love you. Well done. Danny doesn't hesitate and goes out flirting that night. And the next day she goes around looking tragic because her almost something almost nothing dumped her, even though they weren't really together. Meanwhile, Ruby goes around interrupting the romance whenever she can. Her conquest strategy is to pester her until she falls in love with her. On the other hand, Saffron has an infection and the doctor advises her not to do anything until the tests come back. So she avoids Heidi because she doesn't know how to tell her that she has an infection. And meanwhile, Danny keeps flirting here and there, but she also keeps chasing Ingrid because she loves her. And back to Saffron. She got her test results back and she has an STD. It looks like Ruby gave it to her and Heidi is furious when she tells her. But Saffron doesn't tell her it was Ruby, though. She plays dumb and tells her that maybe Heidi gave it to her. But Ruby catches up with them at the doctor's office and rats Saffron out. Heidi storms out furious that Saffron was with Ruby. In Saffron's defense, it must be said that they weren't together at the time. But Heidi doesn't care about that, tells her she's a liar and tells her to go to hell. But Saffron pursues her and harasses her until she forgives her. Then all is well.
Oh, thank God.
On the other hand, Celeste is still dating Bryden and they hang out with Ingrid. They are friends and support her with everything. And Saffron and Heidi continue their romance while being stalked by Ruby, until Saffron decides she's had it up to here and tells Ruby to leave her alone. Unfortunately, Heidi gets angry again and they argue again. Later that day, Ruby was in the park sad because Saffron sent her to hell. And just then Saffron arrives, sad because Heidi sent her to hell. So they start consoling each other and drinking together. Bad idea. At the end of the night, they are both drunk, and Ruby tries to kiss Saffron by force. So Saffron runs out. Come on, Ruby. No means no. And then she chases Saffron home and gets pissed when Saffron says no. Again. Poor Saffron. No girlfriend and a stalker who won't leave her alone. And on top of that, she ends up arguing at recess with Heidi, and now everyone knows the gossip about her life. All is bad. Luckily, Celeste comes over to comfort her and tells her that she will help her so that Ruby's stalker will leave her alone. But in the end, Saffron chickens out and runs away. Then Celeste goes to Heidi and says to her, "Look, redhead bad girlfriend, protect your girl." And Heidi surprisingly listens to her and goes to find Saffron to support her with everything and apologizes for leaving her alone. But as friends, they don't get back together. And Celeste goes to find Ruby and threatens to beat her up if she keeps bothering Saffron. But Ruby has other problems now. Rumor has spread about her affair with Saffron, and that has her distressed because according to her, she's not a lesbian or bi or anything. On the other hand, while she was going around being a defender of the innocent, Celeste got into trouble. While she was already with all the drama, Ingrid comes over to comfort her and they end up kissing. Oh, poor Bryden. And you saw that Heidi wanted to support Saffron. Well, she goes to confront Ruby. First, she records her admitting that she harassed Saffron, and then she hits her and runs away. The next day, Bryden tries to meet Celeste, but she doesn't want to because she is now dating Ingrid. Oh, what a mess, because they were friends, the three of them, but now they are going to break Bryden's heart. And in class, the police arrive to take Heidi away for the beating she gave Ruby. This redhead spells trouble. Finally, Saffron goes to see Ruby. She tells her that she loves Heidi, and that Ruby is a stalker, that they're not going to be together. On the other hand, Danny calls Ingrid to help her with her love messes because besides being failed lovers, they are friends. That night, Saffron goes to see Heidi, who is very distressed because she got in trouble with the police again. And in another part of town, Ingrid kisses Danny, Failed loves, but they keep hookup. Poor Celeste. And at Saffron's house, she is comforting Heidi, but as friends. And the ones who also remain as friends are Ingrid and Celeste, because Ingrid goes and tells her, "Thanks for everything, bestie," and sends her to the friend zone. Well, no. Celeste doesn't let her and kisses her. And as Ingrid reciprocates the kiss, the affair is still alive. And so ends the 3rd season. With infidelities on one side and friend zone on the other. See you in the next video. Bye.